Three, two, one.
Okay, guys, welcome to another episode. Are they called episodes of Eat and Greet?
Another
episode of Eat and Greet. Today we're actually chatting to Natasha Berta. So I can actually just make it a bit of a, I think we're in gallery view at the moment where you can actually see her down in the bottom left. And
we're live streaming into the coterie. So for everyone in the coterie, they're seeing 4 pictures on the screen at the moment.
Yes.
Four lovely ladies. It's like the Brady Bunch. There's a story.
I'm going to be Jan. I'm going in for Jan.
So, for anyone who's kind of just tuning in for the first time, basically what Eat and Greet is a whole bunch of us, on a Tuesday, having lunch by ourselves, and we decided, okay, well, maybe what we'll do is we'll actually be a little bit more fun and productive with our time and actually eat lunch together. My lunch today is a glass of water because that's as far as I can. And I ate a steak about half an hour ago. And then he's got hers as well. And basically it's just an opportunity for us to really interview someone from the Smart Chicks community and have a great time on a Tuesday instead of being like a bit of a Nigel No Friends in your office on a Tuesday. So, Natasha, hello. Welcome.
Hello. Thank you. Thanks for having me. I'm going to actually have to duck off and attend cakes in the oven. So my lunch is cake, which is very Marianne.
Awesome. Cake sounds good.
So gluten-free.
Oh, awesome.
Here's a story.
So, Natasha, tell us, who are you? Who are you as a person? Before we get to the business, let's hear a little bit about you and where you've come from.
Oh, yeah, awesome. This story is so wacky. I'll just start from the end of high school because that's sort of career-ish, I guess. And I didn't finish year 12 because my mum had a cafe and her partner bailed on that. And I was like, oh, well, I'll just drop high school because it was the first year that year 11 and 12 were compulsory. And there was all these idiots in the classroom that didn't really want to be there. And I really love study and I was really just peed off with that. And I thought, I could probably do distance. So I went to work in the family business and tried to do distance and that didn't really work. And I ended up entering the workforce. And part of that was because I'd been doing yoga and everyone wanted me to do a commerce degree. And I was like, no, I'm never going to do a commerce degree. Commerce is really evil and like screw the man and all of that. And so I went off and shaved my head and wore orange and changed my name and did that on and off for like about 12 years. So when I wasn't being an orange person, I was being a metalhead or like a bong smoker. Like I just did the extremes of like wacky. This is probably not really good for my business. But anyway, this is what happened. And I learned a lot and I learned that wasted is a very good description for that habit. And I also learned what spiritual isn't. The hard way and had a really messy kind of cultish experience, but I didn't realize I was in a cult, which of course you don't when you're in a cult. So when I was about 28, which is about Saturn return age, I realized that I felt like that's when I really left home. And when I left the cult thing, I didn't go back to my mum. I actually just went and for the first time, rented a house and got a car on my own and actually used my money for stuff that I thought I wanted to do. So I had a really messy 20s where I was not connected to myself and my integrity at all. So I know what that is like. And then I did a bunch of like self-work. I did this thing called reevaluation co-counseling and I mean, I did heaps of work in the yoga phase as well. Like I did lots of women's circles and vagina circles and, they call it yoni and all this women work like women's circles. And anyway, so it's really interesting that I'm in a lot of women only groups again now. My partner says to me, you're just all about all women. And I'm like, well, I'm a hardcore feminist. Like when I was 16, I was really angry and yeah, so it hasn't really worn off and I'm still about supporting women. And I think it's been a big journey. Anyway, then I met my partner and I got a taste of what it is to be normal and to have a good life where you're not just addicted to drama and everything's not terrible. Oh my God. Oh yeah, go on. My kids are not well today, so they just really decided they need me. Yeah, and so his family are really normal and nice, good people. They're Catholics, and that was kind of trippy for me because I'm a hardcore atheist, and you can do whatever you want. Just go and do what you like. God. So I met some really nice Catholic people that are having a very normal life who have lived in the valley. I think they're like 6th generation farming family. And I just got to experience this really normal life that was really free of drama. That these really good, earnest people just trying to have a good life. And I've kind of been growing into that for the last 12 years of just learning how to be a normal person, which is good for me because when I was in the yoga thing, I was really arrogant and I was really like, I'm spiritual, and I'm like, I got caught in the trappings of spiritual life. So being normal is a real challenge. Like, oh, we have an acre, we have 2 cars, we have a mower, we have a mortgage. That is all so hard for me to come around to. And so that's my spiritual growth. Like, I had to become normal, and that's my journey. And I ended up doing a commerce degree. So hopefully your advisor never finds out, because you probably go, anyway, I didn't like her anyway. So I did a commerce degree and I couldn't figure out which major to do. So, and I was obviously not going to do marketing because marketing is absolutely evil. And so I tried HR and I tried management. Yeah, well, I realized that I'm just a natural communicator. I really love creativity and I really love systems, and marketing is actually so about all of those things. It's such a hilarious natural fit, and so now I'm a marketing consultant.
Yay!
Mower and stuff.
We're drinking the mower and stuff. I love it.
So that's the history. And now we've been brought around to the fact that, as you say, now you've got 3 children, you've got a mower, and you're a marketing consultant, which you never thought you would be.
Never, ever, any of it.
So tell us, obviously there's going to be a melting pot, I would imagine, between what you've done historically and what you are doing now. So what does your business look like? Tell us about that.
My business?
Yeah.
That is another thing that I was never going to do, because my mum had a cafe. She had 2 and they both ate her alive. And when I got together with my partner, he had a business that he was doing work for people for 13 cents an hour when he did his costings. So obviously I was never going to have a business because that's just a stupid idea. And my friend Trish Everett, who some people know from Facebook groups, was always talking to me about entrepreneurship, and she's on this thing. I was like, well, that's fine because I'm never going to have a business. And she would just smirk at me. And one time she had a link to some webinar Tash did about de-yuckifying sales, Tash Corbin webinar, and I was getting ready to finish my degree and trying to figure out whether I want to work with local people or like could I work with people on my own. I still wasn't calling it a business in my head. And so I did that, and then I ended up signing up for Takeoff because Tash has such a unique approach to business, and it really worked for me. And whatever, fate or whatever. Anyway, I love her work, and I did Takeoff. And when I did Takeoff, I was like, well, what I need, Tash, is a business that incorporates yoga, meditation, whole foods cooking, craft, and marketing, because I thought that's what I was going to do somehow. And she was like, just go with online marketing for now. And I just like had another whole growth process through that because I just feel like it's so disgusting. And I just thought, how could I be a marketer? They're so, I mean, you know, as much as Amy Porterfield has amazing information, there's something about the way she operates that creeps me out. And there's something about the way that most marketers operate that creeps me out. So I've had to kind of pave my own way. And the way the history is informing that is I don't need a business that's a yoga, mindfulness, cake making, craft marketing business. I actually do just do online marketing, and it's all really informed by my background, which means that my ideal client ends up being people who are either in the spiritual kind of industries or that they have really strong values. Because I'm still just the riot girl inside listening to like Pussy Riot, or, you know, like I'm still just like a mad feminist with really strong values. So I either end up working with people like that or people who are yogis, angel card readers, clairvoyants, all the, you know, people call it woo-woo, but, you know, the deep spiritual transformation work. So it's actually informed my target market because we speak the same language. And it's informed my work in a way like I just get it. Like when people say I need my marketing to be not like that. I'm like, yeah, that's cool. We're on the same page. So, yeah, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, it's great knowing that it helps you to be able to connect to those right people. And because of the way you don't like marketing to happen, invariably, those of us like that don't like it to happen like that either. So they need somebody that they know can just help them genuinely and authentically get out there to get the reach to magnetically attract the sort of people that like who and what they are.
All of those words.
Yeah.
So we've been stalking you quite a lot, Natasha, which you've probably noticed. We
kind of.
Familiar with.
I like it.
Yeah.
So we've found Natasha in a few Facebook groups that we like to hang out with, the business groups. She's obviously in the Smart Chicks Coterie, which is our business group as well, that we like, stalking you in there as well. So we've noticed that you do seem to have like some raving fans. We do. Yay. We have noticed that. So tell us, why do you think you have raving fans? Like, what service are you providing that's totally within your zone of genius? Maybe 2 golden nuggets that you it differentiates you from other people.
At the moment, I don't have a one size fits all program, and I'm really about, let's look at where you are and where you want to be, and really connecting with values that people have, the morals and values stuff, and creating a customized package. And I'm able to do that because I'm a really innovative thinker and I'm outside of people's business. So I can have wacky ideas that are risky that you might not entertain in your little business bubble, because you know it's risky enough being an entrepreneur, but if you're thinking completely outside the box, that's just way too scary. So I can introduce those ideas. I mean, so going and being extreme pothead and going and being extreme yogi, I've gone somewhere really far away that people wouldn't normally go. And then I can come back and go, well, it's a bit like this, or I can make something far away relatable to people. So it's the same with marketing. Not everyone wants to go and spend 5 years learning marketing. I can bring that back and I can apply it. I think that's what it is. And I guess second nugget is the spiritual element of it. Everyone is spiritual, whether you know it or not, but there's something about different languages. I guess since I was 16, I've been reading about far out Rastafarianism, Christian, Buddhist, lots of religious philosophies, because I was an atheist. And what I realized was they all have the same core message. It's just in a different language. And I found that really fascinating. So I guess I'm able to transcend dialects to get a core message to someone.
And we've actually just had a comment from Melissa Love, who's one of the chicks that's online listening. And she said, I think in response to the way that you operate, she really knows that feeling. I connect with my tribe, so I must be doing something right. I like connecting with spiritual backgrounds and language. Yeah, they're helping. So
let me get my cakes. Cake stop.
Okay, cake stop. Go and get the cake.
I'm just going to go to the gallery view for a sec. Or maybe, I don't know. Yeah, I think it's the gallery view now.
Here we go. New cake. So, only we had smell-o-vision.
Well done, yeah. Oh, it smells good.
Thanks,
I'd love some of that. So, okay, here's a question that we didn't prep for, but I want to ask you. If we said, okay, Natasha, we've decided we're going to work with you, can you take us through the process that we would go through? What does it look like from woe to woe?
Yeah. I have these introductory sessions that I do, and that's usually 45 minutes because I'm a bit intense. And after that, people start to get into overwhelm, where basically I do with the person one-on-one on a Zoom call an assessment of, it's good to start with where you are now, because people kind of need to purge themselves of that. So it's what social media are you on? What's your website all about? How's your email going? And then the video question, which it has to happen for me. And they're my 4 main tenets of online marketing, because when I did it at uni, there was no proper model. I think they just dumped marketing on top of digital marketing. So I'm making my own model, which is really exciting. So it's those 4 things. And then the next question is what is your life goal or your business goal? Like, what's the pie in the sky situation? And then we start to look at me making recommendations about best practice on all of the different aspects. So each of those, like, website unpacks into a lot of different things. Email unpacks into a lot of different things. All four, social media and video, all unpack a lot and tease out a lot. So it's just a matter of looking at where your big channel is, where you're getting a lot of engagement. That's super important. And also where the opportunities are. So I actually do SWOT, but I do it in my own head, because most people in this field of being in online business are post-corporate, or they've been beaten to death with strategy, or the word SWOT just gives them the heebie-jeebies. So I do use a lot of the models that I learned, but I just reframe them. So it's that, really. We look at a SWOT and look at what are the opportunities. I sometimes do analytics mining, and then we set a strategy. So, but I don't call it a strategy. I call it an action plan, because people are afraid of the S word. And then we set some really clear action steps. So that's a 45-minute session. But the best way to work with me, and my favorite thing to do, is do ongoing. And I do have a few ongoing clients now. And that is when we really start to make shit happen, because every big business has a marketing division that works 365 days a year. It's not just like you're going to get the marketing team in for one week and then the rest of the year you're going to keep running business. So the clients that I work with one-on-one ongoing, we keep teasing it out. So I have, I have a thing in Asana where basically we're looking at the different platforms and what needs to happen on each of them. If we're in launch, then there's the launch section. And we just work really systematically every week at reassessing. There's brainstorming and thinking outside the box, pushing people's limits, because if you're in business and it's not growing and things aren't happening, it's time to get outside the comfort zone. So usually when I see people, I tell them in the first session what needs to happen. And by about the 6th session, they come to me and go, oh, I've had this breakthrough and I'm going to do this and that. And I just sit there like with my husband and go, oh, yes, that's a great idea. And then we start doing the real work.
That's
great.
We've just actually got a comment from Claire Barton as well, saying that she thinks the most appealing thing about you, Natasha, is how real and authentic you are. Hashtag I heart no bullshit.
Yeah, I heart no bullshit. Thank you, darling. I think that's the thing. I'm really crap at the social norms, and for better or worse. And so I just be like blah, and sometimes it works. I think it works in the online space because everyone is, well, okay, not everybody, but if you are closeted and you are not giving much away, no one can tell who you are, because there's so much sameness, and because we're a tiny pixelated square, and if there's no personality, then it's hard to even see you in the mush. So yeah, it's finally come good for me, my social ineptitude.
Kirsty, correct me if I'm wrong. The reason why we like you is because we've got a similar philosophy, don't we, Kirsty? It's like, how can we don't really pay attention to what other people are doing. We just kind of do what we want to do, and it seems to be working-ish, I guess.
And because we want to be about attracting the sort of people that get who we are and where we're at, and find out ways that we can serve them and help them, and whether that's through something we can personally do in brainstorming or unpacking or whatever, or whether it really is in finding somebody that can serve them for what they need. But it all comes down to simplicity within the right environment of people that are potentially looking for you.
Yeah, and I think we're in a subculture, right? In Facebook groups, we're in a kind of secret society that most of the world doesn't even know exists. Exactly. It's really easy to get just in a bubble. I mean, it's a good bubble, but a lot of clients that I work with need to get outside of that too, like especially if it's not getting traction for them. Because one model, say Tash Corbin's done amazing things with the business, and that's a business model, and I'm lucky, like doing Takeoff, that business model suits me quite well, but it's not going to suit all people or all industries, or there's business to business people, there's business to client people. It's just such a big picture. There's no one answer.
Well, especially because there's a lot of people where their ideal clients aren't necessarily the other business people that are in these business communities. So they need to build their own community of people that want to buy pegs or whatever their business is. They need to attract the people that are looking for what it is that they actually offer. And it's easy to get caught in this circle, but if you just running around with the same people that don't really need what you want, then they're great for support, but that's not going to grow your business.
That's it. And sometimes that's a hard truth to face, like, because it's scary to go into the unknown. Like a client today, she's like, I need to go to LinkedIn and I'm really blah, blah, blah. I was like, I'm all over LinkedIn now, so just relax, we'll set you up and it'll be fine. And sometimes it's a bit of hand holding, and that's fine. I love that.
Yeah.
Natasha, let me ask you a question. So before we get to questions, because I think we normally open up to anyone who's online with us on Zoom to ask any questions that
Yay.
I want to ask, so that's great. But before we get to that, did you happen to have some sort of offer or something that you wanted to offer to the Smart Chicks community? And then also maybe another secret little offer that's a special one for the Smart Chicks members?
Yeah. Well, my current offer is the 6-session package. So that is 6 45-minute sessions where we do basically what I talked about before. It starts with the first initial onboarding session. What I have been doing is offering a 45-minute single session so people can kind of try me. And I think that's probably a good offer for the Smart Chicks Coterie because, if you can't afford to do the ongoing work with me, that's fine because I have a group. You could join the group and get support with me there and do a single session for momentum. But if you are ready to really blow your business up and make an investment, it will make a difference. Like I've seen it again and again. It sounds a bit cocky, but whatever. When people do what I tell them, shit goes well in their business. And it's how it is. Like we're going to make the business grow. So, I'll pop a link in a second. And, that's 6 sessions, 45 minutes. And I don't know how to tease it out in a succinct way other than what I explained before and how I work. That's what it would be. So for the Coterie, if people want, they could do a 45-minute trial session, and I have a link for that too. And that is, that's great if you are on a budget and you want expertise, but you aren't really able financially to commit to ongoing work, or you just want to know if you actually like it.
Well, they can work out and gel with you, and then they can be in the group and then sort of put money away to then be able to build up to do the...
Absolutely. And that's $121 for the 45-minute session. And I can do a written action plan for people, but that is a little bit extra. So we can talk about that if you want a written action plan. But I do record the session, and so you can go back to it anytime. I just put it unlisted on YouTube, and we can get a lot done in 45 minutes.
Okay, so what we'll do is we'll put that offer, so don't forget to put that in the promo day tomorrow, but we'll also put that offer, maybe when we upload the video, Kirsty will attach that at the top as well, which is great.
Thank you.
Now, guys, are there any questions? Claire, we can see Jolly, Melissa, Claire, you're on.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey Tosh, how are you?
Hello, darling. I'm good. Nice to see you.
It's so long since we've chatted.
It's okay.
Yep, is that okay? I'll just jump on, unmute myself. Hello.
Yeah, that's good.
I actually have 2 questions, Tosh. My first one is super boring. Social media platforms, you're always sort of up on new things and trends and what's hot and what's not so great and that sort of thing. And I feel like Facebook's awesome and Instagram, I'm kind of, just doing its thing. But I kind of feel like I'm almost ready to do something else. And I'm thinking Pinterest, but I don't really know why or what. And I've tried Snapchat, but I'm obviously too old. I just don't get it. I just can't even. I just can't even. So I did LinkedIn when I was in corporate, and I'm super comfortable there, but it's not really my space, I don't think. But have you got any recommendations for like a good shit hot social media platform that's great at the moment that's not Facebook or Instagram?
Yes. Give me a minute. You might need to pause it, or you can just stop it and watch something else. I know, you can't skip, remember?
I could. I skipped and skipped.
And now it's not working.
I really go to the end.
Oh my God.
I don't before there was.
I'm sorry, baby. I can't come right now. You'll have to just figure something out. Mumpreneur.
It was either going to be you or me. It had to be one of us.
So social media platforms, I'm glad you asked because I've been going through this a bunch lately. I did a workshop yesterday for the Greens Party in Vegas. So that was nice. half the trick is that you get the platform. So, and the other trick is that your target market is there. So that's the two key pieces with choosing your social media platform. Like, if you don't get how Snapchat works and your target market aren't there, it's just a kind of waste of time. Unless you just enjoy the platform so much that you're making content there and then you're repurposing it somewhere else. So you're kind of just using Snapchat as your video camera. So I reckon Danielle Gardner, for anyone who's in, I shouldn't maybe mention other groups. Are you guys all right if I mention other groups?
Yeah, that's fine.
Melanie Mideggs has a group called Soul Lounge, and they run similar things to this where people are giving value within the group. And Danielle Gardner did a LinkedIn thing over there, and she explains how to make LinkedIn work. And I think LinkedIn is great, maybe even for you, Claire, with your target market, because women who are either corporate still in or they want out, there's a lot of that action going on. And all you need to be doing really is just forget that it's LinkedIn, forget what it was in your head, start construct a new paradigm where it's basically Facebook, but it's more based around articles. So uploading, which is just cut and pasting a blog off your website and chucking it onto LinkedIn. And then there's SlideShare, which you can link to your LinkedIn, which is where you put all your old leftover webinar slides. You just upload them and then link
all my leftover webinar slides.
Oh, come on. I bet you got something kicking around.
I've never done a webinar, so no, I don't yet.
We'll just make some shit up and chuck it up there, and then make sure your profile is what you would put on Facebook. Like, don't buy into the LinkedIn thing. You have to be posting every day.
So I've set up like an if this then that recipe. So everything I do on Instagram or Facebook goes on LinkedIn. So I realized probably 2 months ago, I was getting all these notifications and messages of people from LinkedIn, and I was like, why am I getting all these things? And I forgot that I'd set up this recipe. And when I go into my profile, it looks like my Facebook feed. Like, it's really, it's got stuff going on there all the time. But I literally, that was probably the last time I logged in, and that would have been the first time in several months that I logged in as well. So so that's fine, but I'm definitely not interacting. There's stuff going on to my profile and that sort of thing, but it's not like there's no interaction whatsoever. So I wonder if maybe I'll just play in there for a little while, play for a couple of months and see what happens.
And really, I think social media is, go Kirsty.
I was going to say, do you want to type in the name of that group? Because that might be good to be able to join in so you can have a look and see it.
I think I'm in Melanie's group actually, but I haven't played in there for a little while.
You have to sign up to an email list to get the notifications about the masterclass series. Yeah. Okay. But that was a really good one. It just unpacked it really. But cool. You do need to be hanging out there. That's the thing. Yeah. Yeah. And with any anyway.
That's cool. I am in that group, so I'll go and I've chatted with Melanie.
Oh, yeah, I remember. And the other thing with social media platforms is it's kind of like this. Like, everyone goes consistency. And I agree, but you need to be like, why consistency? Because when you go to launch something, then people aren't cold. It's not like, oh, boom, I've got something to sell now. It's actually like, oh, yeah, I know her, and she gave me all that cool information before. Right. And, she's got this other thing. So it's just keeping the conversation going. I think that's where social media really comes into its own. It's just, it's totally, like everyone goes, social media is social, and it's all about relationships. It all sounds really cliched, but I have seen it pay off lately, where I have one client who has a massive Facebook page, and now she's going into launch and she's getting engagement, or that's when it pays off.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
So there's no blank answer for which one. You could seriously do everything on Facebook and not do a single other thing if you're getting traction.
And like it is, and all of 100% of my clients have either come from Facebook or a referral from someone through Facebook. So like, I don't feel, and I'm not desperate for clients. Obviously I've got room for more, but I'm not desperately like trying to go into different avenues. I just sort of feel like Pinterest is something that does interest me, and I've set up the if this then that recipes for Pinterest as well. So Pinterest also probably looks like I'm really active in there, but I don't even know how to log into it to be completely. So like, I'm just feeling like I'm ready to try something else and just have a play somewhere else. So I was just wondering if there was anything, like, I know you did blabs for ages and they were really fun, but I haven't really gotten into that myself.
The platform is it's been really glitchy. Okay. I've ended up now moving over to Zoom and do the basic same thing on Zoom. Okay. Pinterest is good if you already have a big following there. So another client of mine has like 104,000 or 110K followers on Pinterest. And she's like, why aren't they converting? I said, well, because you're not posting anymore. So you got them. Now you've just, they're not seeing you or hearing from you because you're not posting. So Pinterest is all about consistency, but showing up in people's face again and again. And another cool trick with Pinterest is look back at your pins, and anything that got 10, well, it depends on how high your engagement is, but anything that's had a few repins, you can delete it and repin it because people like that.
Okay.
So you can just chuck that up again, and you might get in front of new people, or people might pin it again.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I might just, I don't know, make the next couple of months about one new platform, either LinkedIn or Pinterest, or maybe I'll just dabble in both of them a little bit and have a bit of a play.
Yeah.
So, yeah, cool.
What's your target market? What are they like?
I guess they're probably, well, the people that I'm working with at the moment would definitely not be on LinkedIn. Most of them. There's probably, I don't know, 15 to 20% of them would be LinkedIn people, but more because they feel like they have to be. Not that I'm opposed to that, and certainly when I started out I was thinking I wanted to work more with corporates and that sort of thing, but I think probably just by virtue of the fact that the groups that I move in and all the Facebook marketing or Facebook group stuff that I've done gets me in front of people who aren't necessarily super corporate. That's probably the only reason. So, but definitely, now that I think of it, the two programs that I am going to designing in Get With The Program will probably be more aligned to people who either are in corporate or are just about to leave corporate, all that sort of thing. So maybe LinkedIn is a good place to play.
I reckon, you can start building up the channel. And it's great to have that strategic approach. Like, I'm making this program, so I'll start putting energy there in that
lane. When I was in corporate in recruitment, I did a lot of recruitment and that sort of thing there. So I've got over 5,000 followers, I think, or links, whatever you call them, in LinkedIn. And to the point where when I was working there, I was getting maybe 100 requests per week or 100 requests per month or something like that, because I was so active in there. So I have got quite a big reach, I suppose, in there that I've definitely not tapped into. Yeah, that's a good point. Cool. Thanks, babe.
And it's not going to be those people either. Do you know what I mean? Like, you're probably going to start connecting with a whole new group of people. And the existing, I mean, it's great if you have an existing following or, a bunch of connections there that you can leverage. Like, you can springboard off that to get in front of more new people. Especially if they happen to like anything of yours, that will show up in their updates to their people.
Yeah, that's so true. Yeah, cool. Ooh.
Now,
what things you wanted to say, Claire?
There was 2 quizzes.
I do, but does anyone else want to jump in? I don't want to hog all the time.
I know Dolly did quickly type in there, would you be any good for her as a photographer? Would it be suitable for a photographer like me?
Would which?
No, Dolly, do you want to unmute yourself and you can have a turn at saying hello?
I know that she was, she had a video on.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Jolly here.
Hey, Jolly.
Hi. So my question was, I am a photographer, a portrait photographer, and wondering if your services would suit me, because you did mention that it was somewhat for the spiritual businesses. So
it's not strictly spiritual businesses, but it's just people who say you've done a course. A lot of my clients are have done some kind of expensive marketing course that says when you're launching, you have to email people 4 times a day in the week leading up to the, and at early bird, you have to send this, and it keeps them up at night, and they feel like it's really, it's not aligned with their own values. Like, they have their thoughts and feelings about life, their values, and what they're being told to do for marketing's sake doesn't sit well with that. So it's not just spiritual, I guess. It's just that you have this set of feelings and thoughts about life, and what you hear marketing tell you to do feels really gross, and it just feels really wrong and not like it at all. So I actually work with all kinds of people, but we have to niche. Do you know what I mean? We have to sort of say who our ideal clients are. And I guess when I look at the theme of my clients, it tends to be people who are like that. It's just how it worked out.
But obviously photography is an area that still needs marketing for them to be able to reach their ideal client. So certainly with.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but the difference in my business is that I'm location specific. So I don't have online course, so I have to market to the people in my city only.
Whereabouts do you live, Johnny?
Jolly, where do you live? You're in Canberra, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Canberra, yeah.
Yeah. Well, when I did my degree, I did do all of that, the whole picture of marketing. So I understand the old school techniques like flyers and, postcards, business cards, face-to-face networking and word of mouth and all of the old school techniques as well as online techniques. But I think for you, Jolly, Facebook advertising and harnessing the power of your Facebook page is probably going to be a really good place to work, because when you put an ad in a newspaper or on the radio or something, it's very broad scale. So you're speaking to absolutely everybody and you don't really even know if your target market is there. Whereas Facebook ads now, you can just be so targeted and you can choose your ideal client and you can really just speak to them. And especially if it's a geographically based business, it's incredible what you can do with Facebook advertising. And I know a lot of people go on about Facebook advertising and I didn't think I was going to be one of them, but lately I've been seeing incredible results. So yeah, I think absolutely my work can be suitable for anybody, location or online based. I have local clients here as well that I work with. So I'm used to that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I ran a couple of Facebook ads and I only got one booking. So
yeah.
I'll be keen to jump on the meeting with you.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
I don't want to hog the conversation right now.
No one wants to.
Chat later. Thank you, Natasha.
Awesome. Thanks, Jolly.
So I might just go ahead and just mention again that what we'll do is actually pop all the details for Natasha's offer into I'm just muting all the people, into the Smart Chicks members lounge and also into the Coterie. And then obviously you'll see her pop up in the Smart Chicks Coterie tomorrow. So for those of you watching this on YouTube, there'll be actually a link downstairs to the Coterie if you want to just jump in and connect with Natasha at any point, and also just head over to her website. And we're just probably going to stop the recording now, but you guys are welcome to stick around and ask some questions if that's what you want to do. All right.
Cool. And I forgot to mention that we can do a 15-minute free chat if people need. Like if it's a matter of just sussing out, if it's a situation like Jolly where people aren't sure whether I can actually help them or not, I've just popped the link in for that as well for a free call, because I'm super happy just to have a 15-minute chat. And often it's helpful for me too, because I don't want to commit to someone who really I just end up spending 45 minutes going, oh my God, now I have to refund you because I can't help you. But it's only happened once. And it wasn't because of business, it was because of other reasons. God, I hope she's not watching.
Okay, I'm going to stop the recording and then we'll see you on the flip side.